to our Panthers podcast today.
Thank you.
Do you want to introduce yourself, perhaps, before we start?
Sure. So I'm Skyler Stockie. I'm Canadian Swiss, and I played softball in the States for college.
Cool.
And now I'm on the Swiss team.
So you live in America, in Florida?
Yeah.
Or?
So, I grew up in Canada, but then I went to 4 years of college in Florida, and I just finished in August. And I love Florida, and then I met him there, so now I'm in Florida.
And you are Connor?
Yeah.
Yes.
My name's Connor Perry. Played college baseball, and then I was drafted and played professional baseball for a couple years for the Detroit Tigers.
Cool. So you both are playing softball and baseball for quite a long time now. And how did you start? How did you come to playing softball or baseball?
I started because my mom always played, and then my brother started playing baseball when I was younger, so I was always in the middle of them playing catch, and then I just started playing.
It's cool if your family already does it, so you get into it
Easier.
A lot easier, yeah.
How about
Yeah, I just grew up into it. I was the first one born. My dad played baseball, and just something I fell in love with. I was decent at it, so I just kept going with it.
And I heard that you were both in the best league in your region playing, right? And your experience from there, how is it in comparison to here in Switzerland or in Europe? Just
I would say it's different and similar in ways. When we go to the European Championship, I feel like it's a little bit similar to the NCAA, their championships. But I feel like there's a bigger gap where the Swiss team we're building a lot, whereas the NCAA is pretty competitive. Everyone's pretty similar. So I think there's country to country, it varies more here. So it's cool because we can develop a lot as a country.
True.
I feel like we have the past few years that I've been a part of the program, I've seen a lot of change. So it's cool.
And how do you feel?
Yeah, I haven't seen much in the European side of baseball, right? But from guys that come over, it seems like everybody comes to the States to play a bit, in the league that I was in. So I'm not exactly sure how it differentiates, but I know a lot of them come to the U.S. from Europe.
We know that the level there is higher, right?
Yeah,
so we think the really good one here in Europe, they want to go to America or just to parts, perhaps also Asia, where they can play in better teams and learn more. But for example, Kim, you know her.
Yeah.
She's in New Zealand. She goes to New Zealand, and she's also really good here and there as well. So
yeah, that's awesome.
it's great.
It's cool because you can travel and play the sport.
Exactly.
It's super cool.
And I heard you're doing coaching also in America.
Yeah, so I'm just giving softball lessons. I finished in August, so I'm super new to being out of college and being done school. But I started doing, towards the end of college, I started picking up lessons in Jacksonville, where I was, and then I moved down to Naples, and I lost all my lessons because they were 6 hours away. So then I went to a camp, and I taught some pitching lessons, and then all of a sudden I have 10 lessons, and in the new year I want to start doing that more full-fledged, every day do lessons, and then he has a baseball academy, which he wants me to get into, the softball side, but he can tell you a bit about it.
Yeah, I just started a baseball academy, and we have about 8 teams, all from ages 10 to 14, 15, and kids just come. And I think it's similar to the club they have here, maybe, or no?
Yeah, you started it yourself.
Yeah.
They kind of started it, the Zenders.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kids come from when they're 10, and they'll work their journey with me until they're 14, 15 years old, and we try to prepare them to get ready for high school baseball and everything like that.
Cool.
So,
and you did it already for how long now?
we're going on to our second and a half year. So 2.5 years.
Pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were playing until when, actively?
About 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. So it kind of came up to a abrupt halt. So when it came to that, I didn't really know what to do next, so I just started my academy.
He got a career-ending injury.
Yeah.
In the hand? Or
Yeah, in my wrist.
What did you do? Like,
Yeah,
what happened?
So I got hit by a pitch, and then I slid into a base. When I slid, I went like this, and then like my whole wrist kind of got destroyed.
Oh.
Yeah, so I got a surgery, and I never rehabbed it the way it could have, to be able to like still play. So.
But you can still like coach.
Yeah, I can still do everything. I just don't have a lot of strength in these two fingers.
Oh, yeah.
So you couldn't pass like the MLB regulation test in
Uh,
order to play.
But you can still throw, just
Yeah.
not as hard.
Well, I'm a lefty, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, but you like catched yourself. That's the good part.
Yeah.
Then you started coaching, so your passion for baseball is really
Yeah.
high.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, he does it every day. Some days I'm like, because he has 7 teams, so every night he practices every single night. And then on the weekends, since August when I moved down, he every weekend basically he's had a tournament, and he has to travel for Saturday, Sunday, and he'll coach like 8 games on a weekend. I know he won't tell you this, but he coaches like eight games. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
it's crazy. You have to be passionate for that. Just like you girls, like anyone as an athlete, you know.
Yeah.
You have
sure.
to want to play it and do it, or else your performance doesn't show.
Yeah. That's funny because I would like to practice every evening.
You would,
Yeah.
You're
we're-
14, you got lots of energy.
Yeah, I think me too. We're like the two of us. We trained also during the break when we had like a month break after the season,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and the other ones didn't. So
And
We
you
were
guys were
like-
practicing.
yeah, like
These two.
especially in pitching.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
good.
Also because we're like the 2 newest one in the team.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We wanted to like improve a little bit.
I think we're also the ones who want to do like the hard stuff, like we're gonna go running, do sprints, and everybody's like, no, and we're like, yay!
That's awesome. If you do the hard stuff, then the easy stuff is easy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but of course you always have to learn the basics.
Yes.
So that's I'm sometimes even struggle with that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you should always train like also if you're a pro. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that rings a bell. Like every day's like in practice, even pitchers, we had to do every day just like rolling into your glove, forehand, backhand, like every single day, just the same
Yeah.
stuff, just like repetitive. So
Yeah.
So now back to you. What do you want for your future to?
with softball,
Yeah, or baseball or anything. Also
well,
work life. I don't know.
I think that honestly, starting like golf side softball in Naples would be super cool. I've like been thinking about it a lot more and just like doing lessons, and then like that's like my Florida side, and then with the Swiss team, I would like to continue to play with you guys, even though like a lot of my friends when they finish NCAA college are like awesome softball players and they just like stop cold turkey, but like I feel like I want to still keep playing and when I come here, because I'm fortunate to be able to come see my brother sometimes and whatever with my family, I can help you guys just like tonight. I'm going to try to help pitchers and just like help with anything I can, different drills. And
We're really happy to come
Yeah.
today to the training to practice. And when you came to Switzerland how many years ago for the first time?
I came when I was pretty little. I was only like 10. But I didn't start playing with the Swiss team until about 4 or 5 years ago. So, but it's crazy. Like it's super cool to see because like where we started 5 years ago when I first saw that compared to now, it's awesome. So I'm excited to see you guys grow and like help that aspect. You know?
So you saw the Panthers when they were like brand
Yeah,
new.
yeah.
More or
Well,
less.
I went with them to Paris.
Exactly.
So that was cool.
That's what we heard. And you
Yeah.
also pitched in the against Paris, right?
Yeah, and we only lost like 2-0. We did really
Yeah.
well. We just need some more bats. So he's a power hitter, so he's gonna come help hitting tonight too.
Oh.
I hope
So
we're
we can fix everything we do wrong.
yeah,
just make things
at
better.
least
Yeah.
most of it. I
Yeah.
don't think that we can like improve everything right now.
Yes.
No,
but
it takes time.
of
Yeah.
course.
Just give like drills. we can
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like some of my lessons, like I have girls that are almost my age. I teach, so I help them with different drills, and I feel like if I can show you guys some different drills and he can show you different hitting drills, then when we're not here, you guys can work on that.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, true. And also show us perhaps new exercises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too. I was nervous this morning.
Aw.
Also because there's a new girl coming too.
True, yeah, there's
Oh yeah.
we always need new players as well.
Mhm.
And today a new one is coming. We already thought that she will come 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
but now she was sick before,
Oh.
then there was Christmas and New Year.
Yeah.
So now she's coming
Yeah.
finally.
That's good.
So you see, I mean, you learn really fast, I think, in softball and also in baseball. When you start later, that's what I experienced.
Yeah.
When you have a really good team,
When did
Yeah.
you start?
2.5 years ago.
Oh wow.
So
you guys
really
are-
not too
Yeah.
long.
Like, but I played baseball before like 2 years,
Yeah.
and then I came here.
I mean, in Switzerland, you don't start when you're really young.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Only, for example, Kimi and Mishi,
Yeah.
they start really early because of their parents.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Of course.
So you have a lot more also chances to get good here when you
Yeah.
also start later, because it's
Yeah.
also not a mainstream sport here.
Yeah.
It's more
Mhm.
a niche
It's
sport.
smaller in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why we need to keep growing it.
exactly.
But I find it cool, so you get on the national team is way faster.
Yeah.
So you don't really have to be that good
Yeah.
to get on it.
You have to be good.
Yeah,
But-
It's good, but
You
it, like
can't-
Team USA, like
Yeah,
It's so
I
hard
have
to
no
make.
chance.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you went to Team USA trials, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. I had played 2 years with them, so
Oh.
yeah, it was really cool.
And like now, the difference also from here, Switzerland, to other countries in Europe. Have you been to other countries playing softball?
Yeah. Well, I went to Spain, and then we went to Czech. Where else did we go? Trying to think. Spain, Czech, and then Paris, I think.
Yeah.
And you played there for other teams as well, or
Just with the Swiss team, and then the
national
Panthers.
team?
The Panthers,
Yeah.
Is the level way higher in the States than here?
And I would say it's a pretty big jump, yeah. Like, for example, like here I think I do very well, but in NCAA, I like struggled for a position for like my first 2 years. I barely got a pitch. So it was a grind. Every day I had to keep working
Yeah.
for 2 years in order to start getting mound time. So my freshman year I pitched quite a bit because it depends too on how many pitchers you have on your team. Like,
Yeah.
for example, I know you guys are all working on it, but usually in NCAA you have like 6 pitchers, and only 2 will log most of all the innings. They like to rotate too, because softball you can pitch as much as you want, whereas like baseball you can't. You only have a certain amount of pitches. So
Mm.
I feel like if you're not like top 3, you don't even get in the rotation. And when you're young, it's like hard to beat out seniors. There's like that hierarchy. Whereas
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Here it's not as much like that. Like, for example, you're young and you're playing with us, and
We have a lot of pitchers.
Yeah,
So-
in our team, we have like a lot who are practicing.
yeah. And I feel like you guys use a lot more pitchers.
Yeah, we do.
So
That's true.
Larry like switched the pitchers like 10 times, I think.
Also the positions.
yeah.
So we also learn outfield and infield.
That's
so,
good. Yeah.
So we're in the end all rounders.
Yeah, it makes you like a good athlete in all ways too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what are your like favorite positions?
I played outfield, so
Cool.
just all in the outfield. I was a lefty, so it limited me, because
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
lefties don't play second, short, or third, or catch.
First, perhaps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first. You gotta be tall though.
He's
Yeah.
not that tall, but he's
Yeah.
fast. That's why he was good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's speedy. Are you speedy? I feel like you'd be
I
speedy.
guess so.
She is
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, that's good. Speed kills. It's a
That's
good
true.
asset. Yeah.
But also power, of course.
Yeah.
When you like hit.
Yes. I feel like you got some power.
Yeah, I think we're
Yeah.
like the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And your favorite position or when you
Pitcher.
played?
Well, once I hit college, I basically just pitched. But honestly, before college, I used to play shortstop a lot. And first, I enjoyed that and hitting. I miss that, so that's why it's fun coming and playing with you guys, because I get to play my other positions. But
Yeah.
I feel like because I've been a pitcher my whole life, it's definitely being a pitcher.
Yeah.
But you have also played in the outfield here in
Yeah.
Switzerland,
Mm-hmm.
or also other bases like
Yeah,
third
here.
or
Yeah, I've honestly played like everywhere. Like with Switzerland, I feel like he just kind of let me. But it was cool. It was
It's really
fun.
funny
It's
because
fun.
I think Larry just puts you somewhere, and it's like, yeah, you can. I think you can do it. So let's try this.
Yeah. He likes to challenge you. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. So now, what are your next goals? Also, not only in the time in terms of sports, but also in like working otherwise, perhaps.
You wanna go?
Yeah, I mean, I just mine is to build the baseball academy and just try to teach young kids like you guys.
So that's a full-time job for you.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and kind of what it takes to play at the next level. Just because it's not, it's hard to play at the next level, but it's also if you have the right mindset, you can do it. But a lot of people don't. They don't have it, and when it gets tough, like I know it's cliche, but when it gets tough, a lot of people just give up, and and a lot of people are like, no, I'm gonna work hard, but like no one really works that hard.
And
Like-
how do you motivate them if they don't want anymore? Or
I think it's not so much motivating, but I think it's just building the right culture, right? So what I mean by that is, if you have a pet dog, right, and you're really hard on the dog all the time, and the dog only knows what he eats when he does certain things or whatever, that dog never knows different, right? He's gonna live his whole life like that. So if you can establish good culture and habits into a young kid early, right, then he's never not gonna know what lazy is growing up when he gets older. Rather than letting a kid do whatever and just saying, oh, you should work hard. You know, I think it's just like a culture thing. And continuously installing in their mind that they're good enough and that they can literally trick their mind. Like you said, oh, I would never be able to play for Team USA, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't say that, right?
That's right.
Because you
True.
absolutely could, but you're already doubting yourself right there. So
Yeah, then you can.
yeah, because think about it, if a girl from Team USA came over and played you, there's no shot you would get a hit against her just because you already told yourself that you would never play on that team.
That's right, like the mindset.
Yeah.
that's really important. Also, the mental
Yes.
aspect of softball and
Mhm.
baseball.
I think that's my biggest issue.
Yeah,
I
right
think
now.
it's a lot of players' biggest issues. I have like the craziest story, so I like to share this because it was like probably the highlight of my career. But I was like, it was my senior year this past spring, and I wasn't getting like a lot of mound time, but I was doing really well every time I got put in. So I was getting frustrated, and I was like, this isn't fair anymore. Like I wanted to quit, and I started dating him, and he's really big on like the mental aspect of the game. So I was like, I was being really negative to him. And he was like, he kind of like got mad at me, and he's like, you have so much in front of you, you just need to like, first you need to go talk to him, you've earned your spot. So like I went and talked to him, and then I was like, oh gosh, now I'm starting tomorrow. So I was starting the game the next day, and I was like nervous. I'm like, oh gosh, now I can't I can't screw up, I can't pitch bad. So you're thinking like negative things, and he's like, just go out there and think you're the best and like pitch like you have nothing to lose. So the next day I went out, and I was nervous, but I kind of went out with like, I don't care attitude, not so much like overthinking.
Yeah.
And I just pretended that I was like the best, and I threw a no-hitter.
Oh my god.
So it was like,
yeah.
and it was really cool, and like that's one of the full games I pitched. So I think that like that just proves right there, like being like, and then in scrimmages I would get like in my head, I'd be like, oh, this is our number 4 hitter, like she's gonna hit off me, and then she would get a hit. So it's really big about like being strong in your head. So I think even bringing in like sports psychology to the Swiss team, do you guys do anything like that?
Not until now, not really.
No, can you give us some, like, pretend you're in the 7th inning, you have to hit it.
Yeah, that's good.
Just so it's not just funsies.
Yeah,
it's
more pressure situations.
Yeah, also Larry told us we should now also in the training really focus and imagine we're in a game, we're in a final or anything.
Yeah.
You're
so
not
that
just
we
like
really
practicing.
concentrate and not
Yeah.
only just think, oh, it's only training.
Yeah.
You don't really have to give your best.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Together we can achieve more.
That's not only the mindset of our team, but also the slogan of our long-term sponsor, Raiffeisen.
Raiffeisen is a Swiss bank with lots of little branches all over Switzerland. You can find a Raiffeisen in almost every village or city.
This indicates that this bank is really close to their clients.
You can become a member and buy a share for 500 francs.
And with it also come a lot of discounts, for example, for museums, ski resorts, restaurants, hotels, and a lot more. And Raiffeisen is not only our sponsor, but also the sponsor of a lot of different associations all over Switzerland. So this shows that they are really sticking to their slogan, "Together we can achieve more."
I bet you agree with us that everything we just said sounds great, so why don't you go check out their website raiffeisen.ch.
When you had like a low in your career or in your softball and baseball journey, who did you talk to, or who did you go to for help?
I feel like I would always go to my mom because she was a pitcher and she like helped me grow up through softball, so that was cool. I feel like I always had her, and she would like, there was times I wanted to quit because NCAA is hard. Like you get up at 6 a.m., you don't get home till nighttime, and you're practicing all day, you have classes, like it's wearing for 4 years, it's hard. So there's times where I was like, I should be getting time and I'm not, like I just want to give up, and my mom was always like, no, like you have something so big in front of you, just keep working. And then he was also a big support system for me like in my senior year, so I feel like just relying on family members was big for me.
And you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just wise counsel, and what I mean by that is just, for me, I always tried to surround myself with people better than me that knew more than me. So I think the moment you're like the top in your group, you need to get out of that group, right?
I've heard about that also with your social circle.
It's
like
the biggest thing.
you're like you're in the middle of like the people around you. More or
You're
less.
the average
Yeah.
of what they are. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a big part.
Yeah.
So I think we're in a good position here because we're only starting.
Yeah.
So we can learn a lot from the team and from the coaches.
Yeah, I also notice how I start watching people, how they do it, and try to copy it. And I think that's like something really good about this team, because there's, I think like at least 5 people you can really watch and see that they're doing it right. And yeah.
I think what you're saying too is like they're really improving, because and I think I've seen that like from a handful of girls, like when I first started with you guys versus now, I'm like, wow, they've gotten so much better. Like I can tell you guys are working, and like seeing the diamond open up, and now you guys have an indoor facilities. Like I think you guys, it's easy to just like be naturally good, but to have to like gain that talent yourself, I feel like is even a better thing. So.
Yeah, exactly.
And continuously work, right?
Yeah.
I heard you trained 5 or how many times a week?
With little girls?
In the
NCAA.
Yeah.
Every day.
Like also Sundays.
Yeah, so we would have Sundays off, but in season we would get Mondays off. So we get 1 day off a week, but you'd have classes. So.
Yeah.
Or like getting your laundry done and getting groceries. So it wasn't. I mean, it was a day off, but yeah, it was a lot.
Which is a day off of practice, but not a day off.
Yeah, not a day off of your routine. Yeah.
You trained in the morning and in the evening then?
Yeah, so, my schedule in college, it would be like, we would have weights or conditioning at 8 a.m. And then I would have class, and then I would have a bullpen, which is pitching, an hour bullpen at like 11. And then we'd have to be I would have practice, so I would probably just sit in the locker room and do my homework. And then we would have practice 12:30 till 4:30. And then sometimes I would have night class. Sometimes I would have off, but I would have online classes, so then I'd have to do homework from home. And then on the weekends, we usually traveled from sometimes Thursday to Sunday or Friday to Sunday, and then we would get that Monday off.
Oh, that's hard.
So you traveled for
for games.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we were in Florida, so it was fortunate because a lot of teams would come to us because of the nice weather. But we would still travel like top of Florida to bottom of Florida, which was 6 hours, so it was pretty far. But yeah.
Were like people who could sleep in the bus or in the vehicle you traveled in?
Yeah, we had to always get sleep on the bus. I'm sure you
So
can
you're
relate
used to it
too. Yeah.
already.
You can sleep anywhere, but I struggle a little bit.
I mean, you learn that if you have to, I think.
Yeah. You have to get sleep, yeah. Like being in hotels with roommates and stuff, you have to be disciplined to like get your sleep, eat proper. It's not easy, but.
And with your teammates, did you have like problems, or was it the team? Was it good?
Yeah, I think majority was always good. I feel like teams you can always have like one or two players that don't really kind of clash with your full team, but most part, I mean, everyone got along pretty well.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes coaches my 1 year weren't the best, but I feel like the Swiss system has good coaches, so you guys don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. So too.
Yeah.
They give everyone the opportunity.
Yeah, which is important. It's not, like, I felt like it just wasn't unfair for, like, this, like what I was saying, the seniors and the freshmen. Like, if a freshman was doing better than a senior, they didn't care and they would still play the senior. Like, it was not fair like that, but yeah.
But have you had like unrespectful experiences, like when players from other teams or from your team weren't respectful too?
Have you had any
Situations.
big ones?
Yeah, I mean, it's just you're competing, right?
Yeah.
And when you're competing on a top level, there's just a ton of emotion that goes into it. So as much as you don't want to think that I don't know, it's just you're competing. So, and usually when you're playing on a very high level, the mindsets are very different. So you don't want to lose, like
Yeah,
of course.
and you kind of win at all costs. So if you have to slide into someone or just the emotion comes out. You don't mean it, but sometimes it is what it is, and it's part of the game.
So you always reconcile in the end.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
I mean, it would be a little bit hard if you played against the same team or same player again and you didn't, like,
Yeah.
you always had this rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that's natural sometimes, some places. But,
Yeah.
I mean, we almost had like one brawl in college with UCF because it was like a player that transferred from UCF to UNF and she was on our team then and she like overthrew the ball to third and almost hit their coach, but like it was not intentional and they thought it was intentional, so then the pitcher hit her and then she like ran to third and the first baseman tripped her. Like it was kind of like nonsense, but then I feel like in that moment, like our team was classy, so we just like ignored them and just played our game, and then every time we played them from then on, we wanted to like crush them. But that's kind of what happens with rivalry, I feel like. Do you guys have rivalry here at all?
I don't think
Not
we have
like really. I think baseball
Yeah.
players have more here.
Yeah,
actually.
guys are more like
Yeah.
feisty like that,
Yeah, I would say we have like rivalries.
Not really. I think
think
we're really
not,
respectful to each other.
Yeah,
normally.
I saw that too when I played here. That's a good thing. Everyone's nice.
So,
True.
do you guys have anything else to add or?
Do you want to like tell something about anything about your life? I don't know.
Or
I
have
think
something
my
more.
highlight was like my no-hitter. That's all I really cared to share. I think that was, but I also think, and also just like helping the Swiss system continue to grow is my biggest thing. So I'm excited for that. But anything else you want to share?
No, I mean, I just I think that especially your guys is 14 and what, you're 16?
19.
19?
She's 19.
Sorry. But I think with your ages, you guys could truly reach whatever height you want to reach, but you just gotta know it's gonna take more work than the person sitting next to you, literally,
True.
So the question is, there's super fans and there's super players, and a lot of players become super fans before they become super players. And what I mean by that is they want to talk about how good they are and how good they are and how hard they are, and they become a super fan. But then the super players just shut up and just do it, And I think, to me, the only excuse of someone not making it to the level they want to make it to is the person in the mirror. I've never seen it otherwise, so.
So mostly your mind.
So
Your friends.
Yeah,
Your mind.
and just how hard you're working in the weight room, like, people want to work on their bodies, but it's also how often you sleep, what you eat, what you're calculating, what you're putting in your body. There's so many things, because at the end of the day, right now you're competing with maybe each other, but in about 5 years you're gonna be competing against Switzerland, and then in 6 years against the country. So you gotta think, like, what's someone in the U.S. doing right now that's beating me? And I guarantee there's a girl working hard right now while we're talking, and that's kind of like that motivational factor. So I just hate excuses. I hate when people say, "Oh, well, we live in Switzerland and we don't have as much resource." Like that's nonsense.
You still have to do it.
Because you guys have YouTube, like
Yeah.
I think YouTube was my number one teacher ever. Like I would just YouTube my favorite baseball player and record myself and watch them and just play the game. What's different?
We also did that sometimes to like see what we could do better and also
Yeah.
to see what is wrong and
Yeah,
see how it
exactly.
looks wrong.
Mhm.
Or Larry sometimes sends some videos
Yeah.
what we should improve, what we should look at next time and stuff.
Yeah, that's good. Because it is hard. You can play that like guilt card that you guys don't have the facilities or you guys don't have the support or like programs or coaches the same as the United States. But honestly, in Canada, I didn't have a pitching coach growing up. My mom helped me, so that was cool. But it's like I worked hard every day, and I just want like I had a dream to go NCAA, and everyone back home, because in Canada, I only knew one other girl that went to the States, and to go to Florida is pretty tough, but they all kind of like laughed at me and thought I was like crazy to think I could go there, and then I did, and I was just like, you proved people wrong. So I think that like you can like aim for the stars. Like
I think that's also like the motivation.
yeah.
For me, if somebody tells me it's not possible,
Yeah.
then
You
I'm
wanna
gonna
do
try
it more.
even
Or
harder.
they be
Yeah.
like, "Ah, you cannot do that. I mean, it's almost impossible. And then you do it. You
Like
can.
watch me.
Yeah, exactly.
Just watch.
That's
So-
good.
Yeah, thanks a lot for coming here
Thank
and
you.
talking to us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys.
I hope you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, we did.
It was cool.